We're here talking with David Nottingham, creative director at Dynamite, and we're talking about CounterSpy, which is a new game coming to PlayStation platforms. So why don't you tell us a little bit about the game?
So CounterSpy, action stealth game set during the Cold War. You're an agent for Counter. In our sort of alternate world mythology, Counter are the good guys. If you think about the Bond mythology, Spectre are the bad guys, you're the good guys. And we've got these two world powers, the imperialists and the socialists. They're kind of locked in this epic space race. They're trying to be the first to launch a devastating nuclear strike on the moon. So if that sounds like a bad idea, it is. It was also, interestingly, if you think it sounds like a crazy idea, it is. But it was also inspired by a real-world plan developed by the U.S. Air Force in 1958, which you can kind of Google and look up, so it's crazy. But we kind of like the take of our take on sort of the classic Bond movies that we love. But in our game, like, the supervillain is the superpower. Yeah.
Okay, now, as we were looking at this initially, now here we see the cover mechanic, but my initial take on it when I first saw it here, looking like this, is that it's Rolling Thunder. But you've got this incredible cover mechanic that changes the whole way the game looks. So you played Rolling Thunder in the past, but you're not sure that that wasn't really the direct inspiration for it, though, was it?
I remember playing Rolling Thunder in the arcades. Yeah, that was not a game I obsessed over, but so many people see this and say, oh, Rolling Thunder, like so many people that I'm like, okay, clearly that game had some sort of subconscious impact on my childhood. I think everybody on the team sort of grew up with a love for side-scrollers and the side-scrolling genre. We've all got kind of our favorites that we've played over the years. The thing that we were trying to do with this game was, particularly with the cover mechanic, was try to think about kind of what's our modern take on the side-scroller. So one thing we have is we're building the game in full 3D. And so that allows us to have these moments where the spy pops in the cover and then guys are moving around. You can kind of surgically take them out with well-aimed headshots with your science pistol, or if you want to switch to one of your more destructive weapons, you can just kind of gun them down. But we felt like it offered a nice little mix and change of pace to the game and kind of gave it its own identity.
Okay, and while you're gunning people down, if you get too crazy, can you explain the whole DEF CON mechanic and everything that's going on up there?
Yeah, so Dom, who's playing the game right now, is playing very skillfully. So the DEF CON is at 5, which is fairly low. What happens is the more crazy you are in the game, the more chaos you cause. Guards are going to get on the radios, security cameras are going to be going off, and that's going to cause the DEFCON level to go up. If the DEFCON level goes up like 5, 4, 3, 2, gets to 1, then a countdown starts. At that point, like, the launch countdown has begun. So forget about stealth. Your only goal at that point is get to the end of the level where the launch computer is and abort that launch.
Cool. And there are a number of not so much hidden items, but there are a number of items to pick up along the way, right?
Yeah, there is a lot of hidden areas in the game as well for people who like to explore. The levels themselves are constructed procedurally, so if you're playing through the game and you die, you start again, you're not going to see the same level. And along the way, you'll be finding little bits of intelligence, things like blueprints and dossiers. Blueprints are how you unlock additional weapons. We've got things like the diplomatic pistol, which you get early, which is sort of the soft hand of diplomacy, is a silenced bullet to the head. There's more kind of diabolical, fiendish spy weapons later on, like the Persuader pistol, which if you fire a well-placed shot at an enemy, you'll kind of turn him to your cause and you'll start gunning down his fellow soldiers, and then mayhem ensues.
And if the DEF CON level gets too high, can you explain one of the ways of bringing it down?
Yeah, so you have a couple of ways. One is there's a formula that you can unlock if you found enough pieces of it. But the main way to do so is if you find officers in the level. The officers are kind of generally a little bit cowardly. So if you manage to take out all his cronies, all his guys that are around him, and it's just him left, then you can get him to surrender, and then he'll lower the DEFCON level for you. So it's one of those things like, try to avoid just running through gunning, and you'll have those moments, I headshotted that officer and wasted a chance to lower the DEFCON. So you got to kind of keep on your toes there.
Very cool. And the art style, which is amazing. Can you talk about where did that come from?
So we had a little bit of help. Like our art director worked at Pixar for a number of years, so he worked on shows like The Incredibles, Monsters Inc., like a lot of stuff that as a fanboy of those movies I loved. And having a really strong visual style, super important for us. This is our first game as Dynamite, but it's very important that that be kind of a signature voice for the game. Stylistically, we're kind of channeling, The Incredibles, obviously. Also, just a lot of mid-century design, graphic design. If you think of like the cool title sequences of like a Saul Bass opening credit to a movie. There's just a lot of kind of inspiration from that era. Like that whole cool spy genre of the sort of mid-50s is just really inspirational. There's a lot to draw from.
Yeah, and the look of it, it almost looks like a security cam or something like that, with the curved look on the sides of the screen, and we're seeing almost specks of dirt coming across like it's an old film. And
well, we started out when we were thinking about the game we wanted to make. We were sort of imagining, well, what if CounterSpy was this old undiscovered TV show from that era? What would that look like? And so we tried to kind of integrate that into the look of the game as well. So that's where you see the kind of old CRT style where the corners are slightly curved. You've got like a film grain effect across it. So as you're running through it, it's got a little bit of that crackly old vintage feel.
And some sweet idle animations.
Idle animations. I'll let our animator know. He'll be very happy. We have one animator. He did everything and pretty much that you see in the game.
It looks amazing, and it's going to hit all three PlayStation consoles?
PlayStation 4, PlayStation 3, and PlayStation Vita. It's going to be out in the summer, and it's also a cross-buy, so you can buy it on one platform, you'll have it on all.
Cross-save?
Yeah, there's some cross-save functionality, so all your unlocks, like if you've unlocked blueprints, weapons on one device, they'll also be available on the other devices as well, so you won't lose that stuff if you're switching platforms.
Cool. And the challenge or whatever it is with your friends list?
So with your PSN friends, if you're playing, there's a mode where you're playing a level and one of your friends' high scores for that level will get kind of assigned to you as a challenge. And if you can beat his high score in that level, then when you get to the next level, you can find his downed agent. If you search around and manage to find it, then you can kind of get some more goodies that way as well.
It's beautiful. You guys have thought of it all here. It's a gorgeous looking game. I cannot wait to play it.
Yeah, we can't wait for you to play it as well.
Excellent. Thank you very much.